Centuries ago, the future of a royal child could decide the fate of a whole nation. From birth, heirs were raised to fight wars, handle politics, and lead with authority. But what happened if a royal child was born different? What if he couldn't speak clearly, walk easily, or struggled to learn? For kings and queens, that wasn't just a private heartbreak, it was a scandal. All through history, royal children with disabilities were hidden away, locked in institutions, or even declared dead when they were still alive. Their very presence threatened the perfect image that monarchies tried so hard to protect. This is the lost story of royal children born with Down syndrome, a condition that was feared and misunderstood for centuries, and the shocking lengths families went to in order to keep their reputations untarnished. Down syndrome is caused by an extra chromosome. Most people have 46, but people with Down syndrome have 47. That extra copy of chromosome 21 changes how the body and brain grow, leading to differences in appearance, muscle tone, and learning. Many have features like almond-shaped eyes, a flatter face, smaller ears, and a single crease across the palm. They may also face health challenges like heart issues, thyroid problems, and delays in development. Today, we know people with Down syndrome can live long, full, and meaningful lives. But in the past, before genetics was understood, these differences were feared. Many thought they were curses from God, signs of bad blood, or proof of moral weakness. And in royal families, where heirs were expected to look strong and flawless, a child with Down syndrome was often treated as a shame too heavy to bear. Nerissa Bowes-Lyon was born in 1919, and her younger sister Catherine in 1926. They were first cousins of Queen Elizabeth II, part of Britain's extended royal family. From childhood, it was clear they had severe intellectual disabilities. Many believe one or both may have had Down syndrome or something similar. Instead of raising them at home, the family placed the sisters in the Royal Earlswood Hospital in Surrey. Once admitted, they were erased from memory. Even more shocking, official records falsely listed them as dead, though they were still alive in the institution. Nerissa stayed at Earlswood until her death in 1986. Catherine lived there nearly all her life, passing away in 2014. The sisters were rarely visited by relatives. For decades, hardly anyone outside the hospital even knew who they were. Their existence only came to light in the 1980s, when journalists exposed the truth, sparking outrage and debate. Their story shows that even into the 20th century, royal families chose secrecy over support. Protecting the crown's image mattered more than compassion. Princess Alexandrine of Prussia, born in 1915, had a slightly different story. She was the daughter of Crown Prince Wilhelm of Prussia and was diagnosed with Down syndrome, though the term wasn't widely used then. Unlike Nerissa and Catherine, Alexandrine wasn't sent away. She stayed with her family and was even seen in a few photos and postcards, but she was still kept from royal duties and hidden from the spotlight as much as possible. She went to a special school, lived quietly at home, and passed away in 1980. Her life was more comfortable, but the message was the same. Children with disabilities could be loved privately, but never shown as part of the royal image. Anne de Gaulle, born in 1928, was the daughter of Charles de Gaulle, who later became president of France, and his wife Yvonne. Though not royalty, she belonged to one of Europe's most prominent families. Anne was born with Down syndrome, but unlike many children of that time, she was raised at home. She was deeply loved by her parents, especially her father, who shared a close bond with her. Still, she was mostly shielded from public view, rarely appearing at official events. Anne died tragically at age 20 from pneumonia. Her loss devastated the family, and in her memory, Yvonne founded a hospital for children with disabilities. Anne's story was rare for its compassion, though it still reflected the social pressures of her era. These well-documented 20th century cases are only a glimpse of a much larger truth. In medieval and early modern times, children born with disabilities often faced far worse. Records suggest some were abandoned, hidden away in distant estates, or given to monasteries where they lived and died in silence. Obsessed with strength and the illusion of divine favor, royal families often saw these children as threats to the throne. Some historians even believe severely disabled infants were quietly killed at birth, though evidence is scarce, because such acts were deliberately hidden. This culture of secrecy wasn't limited to one family or country. It was everywhere. Monarchies across Europe and beyond relied on myth and image just as much as armies and politics. Admitting that a royal child was imperfect was unthinkable, and so, countless children were erased, denied love, and stripped of dignity simply because they didn't fit society's idea of perfect. Today, the world looks very different. People with Down syndrome have access to education, healthcare, and support that help them live fulfilling lives. They go to school, build careers, fall in love, start families, play sports, act, teach, and inspire. Most importantly, they are seen and valued for who they truly are. But we must remember that this progress is recent. Just a few generations ago, things were heartbreakingly different. The lives of Nerissa and Catherine Bowes-Lyon, Princess Alexandrine of Prussia, and Anne de Gaulle remind us that not long ago, children with Down syndrome, even those born into privilege, were hidden, excluded, and denied the chance to live fully. They didn't get the smiles, attention, or opportunities their siblings did. Many royal families saw them as flaws in the bloodline, punishments from God, or stains on the throne. Their names, faces, and stories were deliberately erased from history, making them invisible to the world. Many spent their lives in lonely institutions, rarely visited by loved ones. Others were tucked away in monasteries or estates far from prying eyes. Their stories were meant to stay buried forever. But just because they were silenced doesn't mean they didn't matter. History is full of great rulers and grand events, but some of its deepest injustices are the quiet ones, those meant never to be told. The silent suffering of children deliberately forgotten. They lived in a world where disability was treated as shameful, something to hide, yet their lives were just as valuable as any king, queen, prince, or princess. By remembering them now, we give back the dignity and recognition they were denied. We show they were not just rumors or footnotes, but human beings who deserved love and acceptance. At the same time, we remind ourselves how fragile progress can be. Yes, people with Down syndrome today enjoy far more rights and opportunities, but discrimination and stigma still exist. And history warns us how easily compassion can crumble when image and pride matter more than humanity. These children's stories are more than just sad pieces of royal history. They are lessons. They show that no family, no matter how powerful, is safe from the fear of judgment. They reveal the pain that secrecy brings. And they challenge us today to build a world that doesn't hide or shame those who are different, but embraces them as part of our shared human story. By telling the stories of Nerissa and Catherine Bowes-Lyon, Princess Alexandrine of Prussia, Anne de Gaulle, and the countless others whose names may never be known, we honor their memory. We pull them out of the shadows and into the light, where they always belonged. And maybe by doing so, we can help ensure that no child, royal or otherwise, is ever hidden away again. Because every child, no matter their ability or difference, deserves to be seen, to be loved, and to have their story remembered.